तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Don't be afraid of being different. Be afraid of being same as everyone else. Namaste and a very good morning to all our viewers. I, Paul, host for the day, welcome you all to this morning assembly. Today is 26th of FEB અને ગુજરાતી થી પ્રમાણે આજે મહાસુદ ચૌદસ. Prayer is beyond any question the highest activity of the human soul. So let's join our hands, close our eyes and pray to Almighty.
नमस्ते ए मालिक तेरे बंदे हम, ऐसे हों हमारे कर्म। ये कर्म कैसे हों, यही सीखने को मिलता है हमें इस प्रार्थना में कि हे प्रभु, संसार में अंधेरा कितना ही घना क्यों न हो, कुछ भी नज़र क्यों ना आता हो, फिर भी हम नेकी पर चले, बदी से ना डरे, ताकि जब हमारा अंत समय आए तब हंसते हुए निकले दम। आइए इसी भाव को दर्शाती यह प्रार्थना हम सब मिलकर भाव से गाएं। ए मालिक तेरे बंदे हम। प्रणाम।
चले और बदी से डरे, ताकि हंसते हुए निकले दम। ऐ मालिक तेरे बंदे हम, ऐसे हो हमारे करम। नेकी पर चले और बदी से डरे, ताकि हंसते हुए निकले दम। ऐ मालिक तेरे बंदे हम। बड़ा कमजोर है आदमी, अभी लाखों है इसमें कमी, पर तू जो खड़ा है दयालु बड़ा, तेरी कृपा से धरती थमी। दिया तूने हमें जब जन्म, तू ही झेलेगा हम सबके गम। नेकी पर चले और बदी से डरे, ताकि हंसते हुए निकले दम। ऐ मालिक तेरे बंदे हम। ये अंधेरा घना छा रहा, तेरा इंसान घबरा रहा, हो रहा बेखबर, कुछ न आता नजर, सुख का सूरज छिपा जा रहा है तेरी रोशनी में जो दम। तू अमावस को कर दे पूनम, नेकी पर चले और बदी से डरे, ताकि हंसते हुए निकले दम। ऐ मालिक तेरे बंदे हम। ताकि हंसते हुए निकले दम। ऐ मालिक तेरे बंदे हम, ऐसे हो हमारे करम। नेकी पर चले और बदी से डरे, ताकि हंसते हुए निकले दम। ऐ मालिक तेरे बंदे हम, ऐसे हो हमारे करम। नेकी पर चले और बदी से डरे, ताकि हंसते हुए निकले दम। ऐ मालिक तेरे बंदे हम।
When I'm feeling sad or lying in my bed, I simply remember my grandma tells. Yeah, you guessed it right, fairy tales. Fairy tales are full of magic. Magical creatures grant wishes. There is always a problem that must be solved. Having good versus evil in some way. In the end, everyone lives happily ever after. Without giving any further hints, now I would like to invite Nanesha for reciting poem titled Three Little Pigs.
Three little pigs. The animal I really think above all others is the pig. Pigs are noble, pigs are clever, pigs are courteous. However, now and then to break this rule, one meets a pig who is a fool. What, for example, would you say if strolling through the woods one day, right there in front of you, you saw a pig which built his house of straw? The wolf aside licked his lips and said, "That pig has had his chips. Little pig, let me come in." "No, no, by the hairs on my chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." The little pig began to pray, but Wolfie blew his house away. He shouted, "Bacon, pork and ham. Oh, what a lucky wolf I am." And though he ate the pig quite fast, he carefully kept the tail till last. Wolf wandered on, a trifle bloated. Surprise! Surprise! For soon he noted another little house for pigs, and this one had been built of twigs. Little pig, let me come in." "No, no, by the hairs on my chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow a house in." The wolf said, "Okay, here we go." And then he began to blow and blow. The little pig began to squeal. He cried, "Oh wolf, you've already had one meal. Why can't you talk and make a deal?" The wolf replied, "Not on your nail." And soon the pig was in his belly. "Two juicy little pigs!" the wolf cried. "But still, I'm not quite satisfied. I know how full my tummy is bulging, but oh, how I adore indulging." So, creeping as quietly as a mouse, the wolf approached another house. A house which also had in sight a little piggy trying to hide. piggy number 3 was bright and brainy as it could be. No straw for him, no twigs, no sticks. This pig had built his house of bricks. "You'll not get me," the piggy cried. "I'll blow you down," the wolf replied. "You'll need," Pig said, "a lot of puff, and I don't think you've got enough." The wolf huffed and puffed and blew. The house stayed up as good as new. "If I can't blow it down," Wolf said, "I'll have to blow it up instead. I'll come back in the dead of night and blow it up with dynamite." Pig cried, "You brute! I might have known." Then picking up the telephone, he dialed as quickly as he could the number of Little Red Riding Hood. "Hello," she said. "Who's speaking? Who? Oh, hello, Piggy. How do you do? I need your help, Miss Hood. Oh, help me, please. Do you think you could?" "I'll try, of course," Miss Hood replied. "What's on your mind?" "A wolf!" Pig cried. "I know you've dealt with wolves before, and now I've caught one at my door." "My darling Pig," she said. "My sweet, that's something really up my street. I've just begun to wash my hair, but when it's dry, I'll be right there." A short while later, through the wood, came striding brave Miss Riding Hood. The wolf stood there, his eyes ablaze and yellowish like mayonnaise. His teeth were sharp, his gums were long, and spit was dripping from his jaw. Once more the maiden's eyelid flickers. She draws the pistol from her knickers. Once more she hits the vital spot and kills him with a single shot. Pig, peeping through the window, stood and yelled, "Well done, Miss Riding Hood!" "Ah, Piglet, you must never trust young ladies from the upper crust. For now, Miss Riding Hood one knows, not only has 2 wolfskin coats, but when she goes from place to place, she has a pigskin traveling case." Thank you.
Poems have a way of spinning just like that, taking those images, familiar since childhood, and rearranging them on the page. We have gathered up a basket of delightful fairy tale poems for your spinning pleasure.
The Glass Slipper Sonnet. Pity the poor stepsister, those big feet. She'll never stuff in a size 6 sonnet. Her flesh so fulsome, the slipper seems a fate, unworthy of the labor spent on it. But try she must, and so she makes a pass, jams 4 fat toes in the narrow throat. The 5th bit smarting, pressed against the glass, though pain's no stranger, she knows it by rote. The other shoe drops as it is wont to do. A second foot is squeezed into the vamp. She stands straight and takes a stride towards me, her footfall heavy as a farm girl's tramp. The slipper strains against those excess feet. She hobbles onwards, she has a prince to meet. She hobbles onwards, she has a prince to meet.
Upon learning that fur was lost in translation, what did fine French cinder else wear besides glass? Did high class hope to flaunt to the ball? Did gall muster towards me? Did they eat ash? Secret, pretend inside, ache for privileges to take midnight steed right? To price, to prince, to prove flamed thoughts, undo braided tresses, guesses. Did they have clues about the way ever after collides? In 5s, in 10s, muttered and lines, tight shut. A fight to rise between odd hours, ticking, tripping like a daggum tabbed shot. Slight cuts into small rooms. I ends the jam. Turning coated slippers towards spondy minutes spent as splintered movements on silk shorn string.
What the shadows made. Here in the library of the trees, a lounge, a quick plot of grasses, but for some cut teeth and a tongue of May apples, an opening like a surprised mouth in the face of day. I am past the thickets of human definition that rise from the soft ground around me, like pencils whose green ends pitch and swing in the wind as they write what happens next. A slender iridescence in the air appears like a hyphen between worlds watching me with limbed eyes from a single blade of grass, its wings shaped from the forgotten shadows of noon. Now it is written in the trees from which it arrived, a prince or princess in disguise, a fairy on its way to a story meant for bedtime, forever small and bright in lovely dreams. Thank you.
Can you spin straw into gold? Straw into gold, a boast becomes a lie. A lie becomes a request, becomes a promise, becomes an agony. The tales we spin golden, the straw we spin golden or not. Watching as he spins, Maggie, the wheel turning, a game of roulette played and forgotten until the cooper demands his due. Unless the name is forthcoming, unless the name is known and spoken, speaking the name dispels enchantment. Naming the one breaks the hold. Just a name, spinning fool's gold, back to straw.
The very air that mirror sticks and gleams. At last the faded red tear stopped frozen just before her lips, no longer soft, closed upon the cream-colored loaf of roses, the tender skirts of flutters, knowing the arbor is safe in violet, that an immaculate bloom will always grace. His table in a golden vessel, he finds her almost beautiful, the outstretched neck, the exposed throat, and the glided flank his daughter used to stroke. She is a different creature, new, without her swiftness, without the shining hoof, only the impenetrable heart preserved.
Oh, to be sure, we laugh less and play less and wear uncomfortable disguises like adults. But behind the costume is the child we always are, whose needs are simple, whose daily life is best described in fairy tales. So let us get a glimpse through some of our favorite fairy tales. One duckling did not look like the others and he was sad. He decided to run away and came across a cottage. He stayed there for a while, but the children scared him. He left and spent the winter in the pond. In the spring, he saw his reflection and realized he was a swan.
The Elves and the Shoemaker. A shoemaker and his wife were very poor. One day they ran out of leather, so they went to bed. The next morning they found a pair of shoes and a passerby bought them. The next night they found another pair of shoes. And the third night they hid and saw two elves making shoes for them. In gratitude, they made clothes for the elves as winter was approaching. The elves were very happy and went on to help someone else. Thank you.
Goldilocks saw a cabin in the woods. So
She entered it. She found 3 bowls of porridge. One was too cold, one was too hot, and the other one was just right. So she ate it. She found 3 chairs. One was too hard, one was too soft, and the little one was just right. So she sat on it and broke it. Of the 3 beds, one was too hard, one was too soft, and one was just right. So she slept. The 3 bears came home and frightened her. So she ran away.
Geppetto was a poor carpenter who carved a puppet that became alive. He named him Pinocchio and sent him to school. One day, Pinocchio joined a puppet show, but the puppet master wanted him for firewood. He begged to be spared and told him about his poor father. He allowed him to be spared, and also he gave him 5 gold coins for his father.
Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. Snow White had an evil stepmother who was very jealous of her beauty and wanted to be the fairest in the land. So she ordered a huntsman to go and kill Snow White, but he was enchanted by her beauty and spared her life. Soon she found a cottage in the forest which belonged to the 7 Dwarfs, who let her stay with them. But not very after did Snow White's evil stepmother find out that Snow White still survived. So she disguised herself as an apple vendor and went to the cottage with a poisoned apple and made sure that Snow White ate it. After Snow White ate it, she fell into a deep sleep. Everyone thought that she was dead and put her into a crystal coffin. Soon, Prince Charming saw the beautiful Snow White laying inside the crystal coffin, and he opened the coffin and kissed her. Snow White woke up from the deep sleep she had fallen into, and they lived happily ever after.
Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. So with this thought, let us all rise for national anthem. Assembly Saudhan.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Assembly Shram. Now I would like to invite Kavya Kokar for poem to Sacho. Namaste. Imagination is an indispensable element of the life of every child as it allows to cross the borders of the real world. We are able to assimilate and master, that is, to understand it in our own way. And reading fairy tales is one of the best ways for developing our imagination. While listening to the fairy tales, we are often deeply affected by these stories, and at the same time, our imagination gets a new shape. Thus, it affects our emotional and mental development. In addition, fiction teaches us the difference between good and evil, truth and lie, and moral characteristics like justice. 26th Feb means today is National Tale of Fairy Tale Day. It provides a perfect opportunity to read fairy tales. On this day, I would like to reflect that many parents in our society believe that fairy tales is not relevant for children, as they think that life is not always good over evil. So nothing magical exists. So why fool children if there are no fairies, no Santa Claus, no magic? So why don't tell stories as they should be told? I remember a few days back I was in the family function and was happy to see a girl who was of my age that I will be able to play and chat with her. But guess what? When I sat beside her, she didn't even consider my presence. She was continuously playing a game on her mother's mobile phone. It's really a sad part that from a very early age, some children are exposed to the world of games on mobile. They are no doubt much smarter and never accept everything at their face value and question everything. But here I would like to highlight that whatever inventions were done were first given shape to the imagination only. And fairy tale develops our imagination and creativity. But in many children, it is not found due to use of these gadgets. So what will you give to your children? Fairy tales for reading or mobile phones for playing games? Zara Searcher. Thank you. We hope you all have enjoyed this assembly. Thank you for being with us. Have a fabulous Friday ahead. Now I would like to invite music team for exit song.
लब पे आती है दुआ बनके તમન્ના મેરી. આ પ્રાર્થનામાંથી આપણને શીખવા મળે છે કે હંમેશા મારા હોઠો પર એવી દુઆ, એવી પ્રાર્થના આવે કે હે ઈશ્વર, હે અલ્લાહ, મારું જીવન જલતી ક્ષમા જેવું બને અને દુનિયાને રોશની આપે. હું દર્દમંદ અને ગરીબ લોકોની સેવા કરી શકું અને હે ઈશ્વર, હે અલ્લાહ, બધી બુરાઈઓથી તું મને બચાવજે અને નેક રાહ એટલે કે સાચા રસ્તે તું મને ચલાવજે. તો આવો જોડાઈએ આ પ્રાર્થનામાં.
लब पे आती है दुआ बनके तमन्ना मेरी.
जिंदगी शम्मा की सूरत हो खुदाया मेरी.
जिंदगी शम्मा की सूरत हो खुदाया मेरी. दूर दुनिया का मेरे दम से अंधेरा हो जाए. हर तरफ मेरे चमकने से उजाला हो जाए. हर तरफ मेरे चमकने से उजाला हो जाए. पे आती है दुआ बन के तमन्ना मेरी।
हो मेरा काम गरीबों की हिमायत करना।
हो मेरा काम गरीबों की हिमायत करना।
दर्दमंदों से ज़रीफ़ों से मोहब्बत करना।
दर्दमंदों से ज़ईफ़ों से मोहब्बत करना।
मेरे अल्लाह बुराई से बचाना मुझको। नेक जो राह हो उस राह पे चलाना मुझको। लबे आती है दुआ बन के तमन्ना मेरी।
जिंदगी शम्मा की सूरत हो खुदाया मेरी।
लबे आती है दुआ बन के तमन्ना मेरी।
तमन्ना मेरी।